Well, I'm convinced of a couple things. One of the things that I'm convinced about is it's part of a parent's responsibility as a parent to embarrass their child whenever possible, as I will attempt to do to my child who is here with me watching me tell the story tonight. It is the third week of July. For about 20 years, when I was still living with my parents, the third week of July and the fourth week of July were shut down at Caterpillar Tractor Company. And so my father would say to us, "It's vacation time, we must vacate." Ha ha ha, Dad, right? So we would vacate. We went on a series of car trips. Our longest car trip was from here to San Diego, California by the southern route, taking 6 days and taking approximately 10,000 slides of the Grand Canyon. After a while, we rebelled against the car trips. There were 3 of us kids. My littlest brother was 8 years younger than I am. And so once he started getting larger, it was really tough to stay in the car for all that time. So my dad gets this bright idea that we're going to buy a travel trailer. We bought the travel trailer, so that meant not only did you vacate during those 2 weeks of the last 2 weeks in July, but you also vacate whenever you have an opportunity because, of course, you're going to get full use out of the investment in the travel trailer. To say that my mother was not equally enthusiastic about the travel trailer would probably be an understatement, and particularly this one vacation where there was an emergency, where we decided to camp at Assateague National Seashore. If you have not gone to Assateague National Seashore, first of all, it is very sandy. So for a mother that is OCD about sweeping the floor, being in a camper with 3 children plus a guest of one of the children at the beach, which, by the way, was rife with horseflies, bees, and other assorted mosquitoes that were sprayed for on a regular basis, which meant that for about 3 hours in the afternoon, all 6 people had to be confined in this small travel trailer. So in order to make amends with my mom, give her a little break in the mornings, my dad took us down to see the rescue demonstration that was done by the beach patrol at Assateague National Seashore. At the time of this particular emergency, I was 16 years old. And for those of you who already know I'm a soprano, I am also a person who has been boy crazy since the age of 2. So I was 16 years old at the time we were at the beach. So of course I'm very concerned about things that are all the teenage girl stuff. How is my hair? My mother forced me to use, which was at the time the top of the line SPF 6 sunscreen, so that I wouldn't burn too badly. So we went down to this rescue demonstration. I was attired in my favorite turquoise halter top tropical print bathing suit because, of course, all of the lifeguards are gorgeous when you're 16 years old and you're just hoping to meet one. So we're walking down to the rescue demonstration. My dad, my 2 brothers, my aunt, who is a year younger than me, but she's my aunt. That's a story for another time. But we're walking to the rescue demonstration. I'm taking a step and all of a sudden, something is wrong with my right foot. So the lifeguards are down there. We had just crossed the dune. So I'm trying to be nonchalant about my foot. And I stop and I look, and my foot is really bleeding. The bottom of my foot is really bleeding. So I'm like, Dad? Dad, I think I cut my foot. Well, you're going to have to go get first aid. What? We have to go to the lifeguards and get you first aid. So I'm simultaneously really excited and really concerned because there's another thing that's important for the women in the room. You'll probably relate to this thing. First we talked about pockets. Now we're going to talk about leg shaving. Okay? I was not one of the evolved women who decided that pits and legs on parade is a fun thing to do at the time. I had been at the beach with my parents. I was 16, but I hadn't had a chance to shave my legs. And so now, here I am in my awesome bathing suit, all these lifeguards on the beach, and I have to go get first aid for my foot. So, of course, my dad takes me to the lifeguard. I get the only lifeguard on the beach that is wearing a wedding ring. And then the first question that the lifeguard asked me was, did you pick up whatever cut your foot? Exactly, no. So what he did was he took me into the shallow water. Other people had arrived to watch the rescue demonstration. So there was a crowd around. Did she drown? You know, what happened? All that kind of thing. He is kneeling in the water. I'm standing there with my hairy leg on his knee while he's giving me first aid to the bottom of my foot. And there is my dad with his Nikon camera. Click, click, click. So my emergency has been preserved for posterity, courtesy of my dad. And that will not be a vacation I forget. Thank you.